Hello, Disney fans. I hope you're all having a wonderful holiday season. There's so many fun things to do this time of year. Decorating, maybe you like caroling, maybe you're having fun baking Christmas cookies. But of course, one of my favorite things to do during the holidays is to watch a good holiday movie. I like humor, and one of the funniest holiday series ever made was the Home Alone series, or I should say specifically the first two. I've never actually seen any of the ones beyond that because the first two were perfect. Last year I talked about the first Home Alone movie, and this year I'm going to talk about the second one. Now, if you haven't seen them, there will be spoilers, although I'm guessing if you're watching this review, you've seen the movies. So, this one starts out with the McAllister family enjoying the Christmas pageant that Kevin's school is putting on, or a Christmas concert, I should say. Kevin Solo comes up, and he's actually, you could tell he's been working at this. He's doing a good job, but his older brother Buzz decides this is a good time to pull a prank and put candles behind his ears and embarrass him in front of everyone. Nice, huh? Christmas time means laughter, toboggans in the snow, caroling together with faces aglow. Kevin is not the kind of kid to just take this. Now, Buzz deserves to get reprimanded for this. I don't agree with the way Kevin handled it, but I don't blame him either. And he didn't intend for things to turn out the way they did. Him fighting back against Buzz has some unexpected results. The McAllisters have a family meeting after this where Buzz gives an obviously fake apology. He even tells Kevin, "Beat that, you little trout sniffer." He didn't mean a word of his apology, even though the family bought every bit of it. Kevin doesn't apologize because he's been the one wronged here. Again, no, he shouldn't have pushed Buzz. He shouldn't have done what he did, especially not there at that moment. But he's going to stand up for himself after what he's been through.
I'm not sorry. I did what I did because Buzz humiliated me. And since he gets away with everything, I'll let him have it. And since you're so stupid to believe his lies, I don't care if your idiotic Florida trip gets rich or not. Who wants to spend Christmas in a tropical climate anyway?
Now, if you've seen the first one, you're going to expect the second one to follow the same pattern, which to a large extent it does, but they have to change things enough to keep it original. Now, at first, it looks like Kevin's going to be forgotten at home again, and you wouldn't want a complete repeat for the sequel. Kevin's family runs late again when they gotta hurry to the airport because this time they accidentally unplugged the clock and forgot to plug it back in. But in their rush, they don't leave Kevin behind. He does make it to the airport with them. Problem comes when he's looking for batteries for his tape recorder. His dad has extra batteries in his bag and hands it to Kevin, saying, "Okay, here, they're in here. Just grab your batteries. Come on, we gotta hurry. We gotta make the plane." Well, while Kevin is looking through for the batteries, he gets separated from his family and ends up following a guy in the same jacket as his dad, thinking that that is his dad, of course. This leads to him getting onto the completely wrong plane.
Did you see your family? There's my dad over there. Okay, we'll go find an empty seat. Have a Merry Christmas. You too.
It's kind of interesting watching this movie and thinking about how much has changed. These days, with all the security at airports, you're not going to get on the wrong flight too easily. To her credit, the steward did say, "Hey, is your family there?" And Kevin saw the guy in the jacket and said, "Yes, that's my dad." So they thought they'd done their job of getting him on the right flight, but like I said, today they'd be a lot more careful. Well, Kevin arrives in New York, and at first he thinks, "Oh no, I've done it again." And then he realizes this is an opportunity.
Oh no, my family's in Florida and I'm in New York. My family's in Florida. I'm in New York.
In the first movie, Kevin's shown he can absolutely take care of himself. But he's still a kid in New York. And there's some scary things in New York. He's scared at first by a homeless woman who actually turns out to be a very sweet lady, and we'll talk more about her later. But Kevin is initially afraid of this woman.
Sick.
This woman is harmless and a very sweet lady who will help Kevin later. But of course, there are people in New York that Kevin has to actually worry about. Well, his primary concern at the moment is, okay, I need a place to stay. Well, he saw an ad on TV for the Plaza Hotel in New York, and he decides, okay, I'm going to stay there. And he meets somebody that actually is an incredibly frightening person.
Excuse me, where's the lobby?
Down the hall and to the left.
Thanks.
Okay, I could be here a while talking about the guy who owned the Plaza Hotel at the time, but I don't want to ruin my Christmas spirit too much. Good news for those of you living in Canada. They cut his part out of the movie, so you don't have to see him when you watch this. Well, of course, the main fun in the last movie was Kevin going up against two characters, Harry and Marv, who called themselves the Wet Bandits then, and who are now going by the Sticky Bandits. They've broken out of jail, and they're in New York now.
Here we are, Marv. New York City, the land of opportunity. Smell that? Yeah. You know what that is?
Fish.
It's freedom.
These two figure that toy stores are going to take in a lot of money leading up to Christmas. And they know that on Christmas Eve, the stores aren't going to have a chance to deposit the money they take in. And that's about the only intelligent thought these two have ever had. Well, the store that they shut their eyes on happens to be the same store that Kevin decides to visit while he's having fun around New York. And that's Duncan's Toy Chest. Kevin actually meets the owner of the toy store and finds out he's a very nice man who intends to donate all the money the store takes in on Christmas Eve to a local children's hospital. Kevin wants to help out the other kids and gives Mr. Duncan $20. In thanks, Mr. Duncan actually decides he can have a couple ornaments off a Christmas tree. Two very special ornaments.
What you do, you keep one and you give the other one to a very special person. You see, turtle doves are a symbol of friendship and love. Now, as long as each of you have your turtle dove, you'll be friends forever.
I know that a lot of places in this movie were filmed at real locations. Of course, the Plaza Hotel is real, Central Park is real. I wondered if Duncan's toy chest was too, and I found out that although the store itself is not real, and actually these scenes were filmed on a stage, not in a real store, it was based on FAO Schwartz Toy Store. This was located near the plaza where Kevin stayed, and it closed down for a while but actually reopened recently in a different location. So there's a little bit of trivia for you. Well, Kevin has fun at the store and he's leaving, checking out where am I going to go in New York next, when Harry and Marv find him and they recognize him right away. Not good, but we all know Kevin is more than capable of handling himself.
Hiya, pal.
Kevin has always shown the ability to think on his feet. It will be a while yet before we get to all the wonderful booby traps everybody's waiting for. But Kevin's ability to think on his feet soon has the bandits off their feet. Kevin hurries back to the hotel, but there's a problem. Obviously, a kid isn't going to be able to pay for a hotel. At the airport, when Kevin wanted batteries, his dad handed him his bag and said they're somewhere in here. So Kevin ended up with his dad's bag, which had his wallet and, of course, his credit card. His parents had been using the credit card information to try to locate Kevin. They're trying to trace where it's being used. It comes up as stolen. Now, instead of thinking, okay, we gotta contact this kid's parents, they threaten him with the police. And Tim Curry, who plays the hotel concierge, has one of the creepiest grins. I mean, was he auditioning for the role of the Joker and missed out, or what?
What's the matter? Store wouldn't take your stolen credit card.
Kevin has to run away from the hotel and ends up right back with Harry and Marv. And he learns their plans for what they're going to do with the toy store.
His toy chest, 5 floors of cash. Then after that, we grab a couple of phony passports,
Mark!
off to Rio.
Mark, you want to shut up?
What's the difference? He's not going to talk to anybody.
I think it's funny how often in movies the bad guys know what they should do but are too dumb to actually do it. Too dumb or too overconfident. In the case of these two, both. They never notice that Kevin is recording them. Now, fun bit of trivia, this particular kind of recorder didn't exist when this movie was made. They just made a fake recorder look cool as a prop. But Kevin uses this recorder several times in the movie. Of course, he uses it to record Harry and Marv, and he used it earlier to play back a recording of his uncle in the cellar to convince people at the hotel that he wasn't staying there alone. Now, after this movie was released, everybody wanted that recorder, and so they actually made it. I remember wanting a recorder the year this came out after seeing this movie, and I actually got a tape recorder for Christmas that year. I used it to record a lot of music off the radio, record songs of movies that I liked. So, yeah, I got a lot of good memories of that, and the whole reason I wanted that recorder was because of this movie. Well, Kevin, of course, manages to escape Dumb and Dumber, and he runs into the bird lady again. He's scared of her at first, but then realizes she's actually a really nice person, and she helps him when he gets his foot caught. And he starts to run again and realizes, hey, she's got birds around her, they wouldn't hang around somebody who was mean. And he probably remembers Old Man Marley from the first movie, who was kind to him even though he was supposed to be so scary. They end up striking up a friendship, and I actually really love this moment. It's pretty magical the way she shows him how she feeds the birds how they come flying. It's visually so stunning to see all these birds. There's something just so beautiful about a bird. And I love this scene.
They can hear it.
I've always thought it was sad that the pigeon lady is never given a name. I'm guessing she told Kevin her name some point off screen, although that isn't confirmed. But I'm thinking she must have. The pigeon lady is played by Brenda Fricker, who was the first Irish actress to win an Academy Award. She won Best Supporting Actress in a bioepic called My Left Foot. She really brings a lot of heart to this role. You gotta feel bad for the character when you realize this is a homeless woman on the streets of New York. Her life has gotta be hard. And she talks about how her fellow human beings see her. And Kevin relates to that, being from a large family. They're both people who are frequently overlooked.
I'm like the birds I care for. People pass me in the street. They see me, but they try to ignore me. They prefer I wasn't part of their city.
Kevin wants to make up for the things that he's done that weren't so great, but he's not sure how to go about it. The pigeon lady tells him that good deeds count for double because it's Christmas Eve. Well, he thinks that the best thing he can do is to stop those two crooks because they're going to not just rob a very kind toy store owner, they're taking money that was meant for sick kids. And he's going to prevent that one.
At midnight tonight, we're hitting Duncan's toy chest.
You can mess with a lot of things. You can't mess with kids on Christmas.
I like that while in the first movie he had a good motivation of protecting his home, Kevin's got an even bigger motivation here. He's doing this to help kids who would be out money otherwise. Now this brings us up to the best part of the movie, and I'm going to devote a separate video entirely to that because there is so much to talk about with each prank. And I love that those booby traps have evolved from the last movie, because people who have seen the first movie are going to be going into this with certain expectations, and the people who made this film know that. And they know they've got to step it up. They've got to keep it fresh, and they do a wonderful job of doing that. But like I said, that's a topic for the next video. I'll see you then. I hope you all are enjoying your holidays. And until next time, remember the magic.